Research data management. Start by being organised. This will reduce the risk of things going wrong, lower anxiety about things that might go wrong, and just lower administration and general faff. There's 4 things, so I recommend spending some time getting organised from the start. And the first is backing up. So that will reduce the risk of catastrophic losses of data and give you some peace of mind. Version control, keeping track of changes, will let you manage changes and multiple versions of complex work. We'll introduce simple tools and techniques to reduce admin time and let you focus on your research. You will expect to pass on data to future researchers, so organise data so others can find and understand it. Why do this? It's to reduce risk and to focus on research, not administration. If you invest some time now getting these things organised, you'll save yourself more time later. So start now being organised. Questions you could ask yourself are: will the structure and file naming that I'm using be clear in a year's time to a colleague? Are there things that you have in your head that you could write down that would explain it? Ask yourself, am I spending excessive time tidying, documenting, or keeping track of changes? And for more complex things, is there a helpful tool there that I could use to do this rather than doing it myself? So don't lose your data. This is about doing backup, and then you don't need to worry. You can do this in an automated way, or just have a routine that you do it regularly. Your data is valuable. It's taken your time, and that's worth a lot of money, because while you're doing your research, you're not otherwise working, and you're paying for your time as you go. Some data is irreplaceable at any cost. If you have an interview with someone you can no longer interview, an observation you can no longer take, that isn't replaceable. So it's not just cost, it's very important. And we're trying to manage the risks of hardware failure, of accidental loss, of theft, or of accidental deletion or change. The university has backed up file systems, so check which ones they are and use them. Put your data there and they'll be backed up. If you have portable devices, make sure they are also backed up. I recommend automating it wherever you can, so once you've set it up, it just runs and you don't need to think about it, and it's one less thing to do. Now I'll talk about managing changes. So this is because many pieces of work go through multiple drafts and corrections. They may be worked on by multiple people. So this is about keeping track of changes, either manually or with a tool. And we're talking about changes or versions or revisions, and certainly when you're doing collaboration with other people. So here's a simple linear version of, it could be a written document, it could be a data set, and you can simply number them. So you could just have version 1, 2, 3, or have a date. And if you get more than one on the same date, give them a number or a version number or a time. Simple way to do it. You can put it in the file for some files, you can have a separate note, but basically you know which version is which, and you don't have files that say latest or the one I was working on or other sort of naming that won't mean anything later. This is fairly clear. You can create branches, so you can take a data set or a document. For example, you could take a piece of text about a method, and some of that might want to go into a poster, and you might want the same text also to be in a paper, but then they'll be formatted differently, so they're not the same document anymore. Or you could have different authors working on different parts of something. So you can branch things out, and then you need to track which version, but also which branch you have. So you can split an item into branches, and later on you can merge some changes back in say there were some spelling corrections in a paper, you could merge those corrections back into your poster. Or you could merge together work done by different authors and keep track of who did what, when. For simple cases where you've got a few data sets or documents and you're doing a fairly simple update, then just write the version numbers down somewhere or in the file or otherwise, or some dates, and that's easy and you're done. If it starts to feel complex and you're taking time tracking what's going on with quite a few documents or what looks like a complicated thing, use a tool. Computers are good at this sort of thing. So for some software you can switch on track changes and it will keep a track of all the changes that have been made. You can use a tool like Subversion, of which there are versions on desktops and elsewhere, and that's a separate program that will keep track of any sort of file. Or Git is another that's quite well known at the moment. Sharing and reuse. There's a major international movement towards open access, and funding councils are starting to require that not just the research publications be made open access, but the data as well. So you can expect to be reusing your data and sharing it with other researchers. You want your data to be meaningful. You want to create information and knowledge. Everything on a computer, everything digital, is just a meaningless pile of numbers without us structuring it. If I had a spreadsheet with the number 7, that means nothing because it's just a number. What I need to know is 7 what? What does this refer to? So first you need to understand what your data means. You need to understand, if you just pointed to something in your data, what it is. And then you need to label it and document what that means. And do this from the start. If you do it from the start, what you're doing anyway in your head or in a lab book will be in your documents, ready to be shared later for your own reference and from everyone else's. It should reduce errors, and it means that you're ready to go with an eye towards the future. You are the best person to understand your own data. It would be very difficult for anyone else to do this, so label and document from the start so others may understand your data too. Please do contact us at the library. You can call us, you can send us an email, we have various other ways of contact. Please have a look at the website, that's a really good place to start, and we have more information about all of these things, and we're happy to talk to you more. So that was about research data management. Thank you.